So all I'm doing is just drawing a line around the hoof print. So that is a right foot. So I know that I have to cut that much foot off, much shoe off.
I've seen guys cut the foot off the shoe.
I've seen that too. He's like, what's going on?
My wife's on me all the time. The word will come out. It's like, you know what I mean.
Yes. So he's actually got pretty good foot structure because he's almost filling the shoe. So can you just pass me the right one?
So when you're saying he's almost filling his shoe, you're
See,
going across,
look
not
at
out
look at
back.
the imprint. See how this foot's a little bit narrower in the back half of the foot. So
Okay.
he's
Yep,
got a
yep.
little bit more shoe to pull off.
Yep.
This is the profile we like to see, is that the shoe itself is manufactured with a 1/2 inch of extra material at the back to allow for that long toe, low heel to be able to sit on the shoe. Now if every horse was perfectly balanced, we wouldn't need that, because you can see his foot ends right on that 1/2 inch line, so it's a perfect fit. But you can see the difference between the left foot, which is balanced, and the right foot that's just that little bit twisted. He's not putting all his weight into it, so the heels have come in just that slight bit. So when we developed these shoes, we took 6 horses that had never been shod and been trimmed from birth to competitions to 6 years old, and they always filled the same dimensions with their front feet or their back feet. So it's like, oh, well, in that case we know it's a universal fit shoe. And then we had to, because Marco had already put the 13 mils into the profile, and he said, do I need to make a back shoe? I said, no, 13 mils is generally all you need, because if we can train the farriers to get that toe shorter and stand them up, they'll fit the shoe. But,
And where we're wet over here, the
Yep.
feet want to distort and often.
Yep.
They're trying to-
yes,
that makes
but
sense.
it's just learning to be that little bit more aggressive to keep that toe. Because what they're doing is they're hyperflexing in, and then once they start to tighten up that deep digital flexor to stop the hyperflexion, they contract in. So, and exactly, yeah, it's a cycle. When they're sore, and it's funny. The biggest issue with steel is that once this pressure increases at the quarters, they're stuck in that frame and they keep increasing. That's why club feet are so hard to fix, because they like taking the heels off and loading this region. Leave the heels long and unload this region, and the bone will descend from the coronet band back down into the foot. So club foot is quite upright, and people say it's a much smaller foot. But when I've measured them, they're no more than a 1/4 inch difference across the bottom of the foot. So your eye is assuming that both coronet bands are the same width, and the vertical walls is because the bottom's in. But the bones have actually come out of the coronet and spread the coronet. That's where you get the vertical lines. So if you can trim that quarter region where the palmar wings is, the bone will descend and the walls will wrap around the bone. It goes back to a normal foot. But pathology wise, we like to say that if you can put a foot on the shoe and you basically fill the entire surface of the shoe, there's nothing wrong with the horse. And we know that his right foot's not as functional as his left foot, and you can see there's a little bit of narrowing, a little bit of contraction.
Still quite close.
It's close. I've gone to endurance rides where people say, oh, well, these shoes fit my horse, and they're actually like this. And it's like, well, yes, but your horse has got a bit of contraction there. It's like, you're going to cut a lot of shoe off.